chapters, today being the 18th chapter. We have 5 more chapters coming up in the next, say, about 30 to 40 days. And we have Amit. Amit and I have been friends, or we've been colleagues in some ways for at least the last 6-7 years. You must listen to him. He will talk after this. I don't want to hold you back for too long, but I want to give you some tone of what lies in the future for people like you. You know, I keep telling people, do not be patriotic. You don't have to be proud today to be an Indian. You have to consider yourself to be extremely lucky to be Indian at a time like this when the whole world is watching us. They know that if there is an economy which can grow at the rate at which it is growing, it is India. I'll give you an example of what this means to you. 2 examples I'll give you. The second one will be about engineers and how you can relate to that. The first one is this. India today has an annual income, what we call GDP, of about $2,500 billion. You multiply that by 60 rupees and you will know what the total annual income of India is. This $2.5 trillion is the same, almost the same as that of France today. It is about $500 billion or $500 billion less than Germany. China today is at about $10 trillion. They are at about 4 times India's size. Remember, before you were born, probably you were youngsters at that time, I'm not so sure. In 1991, India and China had the same annual income, or what is called GDP. And that was, at that point of time, about $200 billion. 200 billion. We have come to 2,500 billion, and they have gone to $10,000 billion or $10 trillion. India is waking up. I'd like to believe that this increase that India will see, that is, we will grow by at least 2x from the current annual income in just the next about 5 years to 2022. Think about that. Think about why I am saying you should be not proud to be Indian, but consider yourself extremely lucky to be Indian. Because the numbers of jobs that you will get are plenty today. Ashok will tell you, if he gets an opportunity to speak, of how he has dedicated his life, after having been an engineer for many years in some of the top companies in India, to say that he will help youngsters like you to build a new generation of engineering professionals for the country. Look at it another way. I told you I'll give you 2 examples. The second example is this. Today in India, you have got about 10 billion square feet. That's about 100 crore square feet of buildings that are coming up every year. Every year you have got 10 billion square feet of buildings coming up. You're all engineers. I could have told you, that it's about 800 million square meters, which is what the statistics will tell you if you look up the websites. But I'm multiplying it by, by 10.76, and therefore I am approximating it at 10 billion square feet. Now, India had no more than about 2 billion square feet of buildings that were built even in 2000. I'm saying 15, 16, 18 years ago, we did not build more than 2 billion square feet a year. Today, not only do we have 10 billion square feet per year, per annum, we also have, as green buildings, already about 5.5 billion square feet. I hope you're tracking my numbers. 5.5 billion square feet of green buildings. Every year we are getting 10 billion square feet. Now, what is India's problem, therefore? Also remember, if you are an engineer and you are now going to be certified and you go out and look for a job, you are among about 1.5 million engineers. 15 lakh engineers graduate. Doesn't matter which discipline, civil, mechanical, electrical, environmental and all that sort of thing. Apart from which, these engineers come from about 5,500 colleges. You are only one among 5,500 colleges like this in India. About 65% of these colleges are in South India, in Tamil Nadu, in Karnataka and in Andhra mostly. That is why you see a lot of these, youngsters, your own friends coming from many states in the north to study in Bangalore or in Hyderabad and other places in Tamil Nadu also. So please remember these figures. You are one among 1.5 million engineers who are coming out every year. About the time, let us say Dr. Ashwath, your principal, must have graduated as an engineer. I am not even talking about his master's or his doctorate. I am talking about when he completed his engineering, like you all are doing now. There were in India, totally in India, we did not have any more than about 10 million engineers. You see what I am saying? Totally in India, that means about 12 million engineers. So India is seeing a very, very massive change. We are sitting in the Kuvempu Hall. Jaya Bharata Jananiya Tanujate. You know who wrote that. And he talks about how the forests of Karnataka, he talks about how Karnataka, the whole song is about Meenu, andre Rajyada ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅವರು ಬರೀತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಕುವೆಂಪು. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಬಂದು he is talking about ಶಂಕರ ವಿದ್ಯಾರಣ್ಯ, ಅವರು ಈ ಒಂದು ಅರಣ್ಯದಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದವರು ಅಂತ ಬರೀತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು. This was a state which had about 38% as forest cover. Karnataka had. At that point of time, in 1990-91, when Karnataka had 38% forest cover, Bihar had 6% forest cover. Today, Bihar has only 2% forest cover, and Karnataka has no more than about 18% forest cover. We have lost half of our forests. ಈಗ ಈ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಕೊಡಗಿನಲ್ಲಿ if you had the kind of inundation, you're all engineers, so you know what inundation is, and I'm sure your teachers have taught you about mitigation of risks of inundation and such things. Now, if you have had this kind of flood in Kodagu, it is because you lost your forests, you deteriorated your riverbanks and your streams, you lost all your mangroves, you gave it away you privatized it, or somebody built something or the other on it, or you did not protect, like Professor T.V. Ramchandra of the Indian Institute of Science says, you did not protect your natural ecosystems. If you sit in a place like this, and I'm happy that this is not air conditioned today, if you sit in a place like this, and if you consume 1 unit of energy, at the central level, some of you engineers will be working tomorrow probably with the power grid. You will be working on not renewable but on central grid kind of systems. You know what that means? For every unit you consume here, there is about 10 units that somebody is producing in Talcher in Odisha, or in Ramagundam on a thermal plant in Andhra, or in Neyveli in Tamil Nadu, depending upon what the national grid is which is producing power for you. I request you all, friends, to remember that every time you spend a liter of water or you spend a unit of energy, you think about the Green Building Council, think about what you can learn beyond what your curriculum teaches you. Many of you as civil engineers read Ramamritam. They must be reading Ramamritam today also. Now in